Okay, my name is Wacey Rabbit. I'm a former professional hockey player, former Vancouver Giant, and former Memorial Cup winner. I am currently the assistant coach of the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Looking for the most beers on tap?
Great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say hey, sent you.
Turn it up.
The #1 sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
Enjoy, Vancouver. Your Giants are about to win the Memorial Cup.
If anyone knows a good prospect, it's Vancouver's Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
How you doing, Coach?
Good. How are my boys? Did they say anything about?
Oh, a great episode. One of the best we've had.
That's good. No bulletin board material, I hope, for the other team.
No, of course not.
That's good.
Of course not. No, we heard you told one of the guys not to dye his hair, though.
No, I said that if you're going to do something, you all do it together and you all look alike. So if you're all going to look dumb, you're all going to look dumb together. And if you're all going to do the Matthew Chuck Patty Kane, they should all do it. But I recommend not dyeing your hair, because I had dark hair. I dyed it and it killed when I'd sweat, because the peroxide just, especially in your with your helmet on. So that was kind of my tip. And I couldn't really tell them not to do anything stupid, because I did dumb stuff when I was junior, like with our hairs. It's a team building thing. I know some people don't like it, but it's as long as they do it together, then it's all that matters.
I'm just saying, it must be nice to be able to do anything with your hair.
I know. There you go.
Yeah. I haven't had hair in 20 years. Like, shit.
Thanks again for taking the time for us today. We're just going to bang off a bunch of questions about hockey and your career, obviously.
Let's do it. And I apologize, I couldn't get anybody in. I was trying to get Garrett Hunt, but he's in Romania. So it's like middle of the night there. And I think they're on the road. So it would have been – he would have been a really good interview. I'd recommend him.
Sure. Put in a good word for us, and we'd love to have him on.
For sure.
Thanks again. And we'll get started here. Obviously born in Lethbridge. Give us a little about your hockey story, kind of when you started, and obviously where you've ended up now into coaching.
Yeah, so I'm actually from the Kainai First Nation. It's in Treaty 7. It's in southern Alberta. I was born in Lethbridge, but I grew up on my reserve. So my reserve is the biggest reserve in Canada. The big sports community. A lot of people play basketball, in the winter and hockey in the winter. And then in the off season, it's a lot of like baseball, softball, fast pitch, and rodeo. And my family's big into rodeo and big into hockey. So, it was just I was following my footsteps of my cousins playing hockey. And I started skating at the age of 2.5. And I was in full gear and playing on a team when I was 3. So, I fell in love with the game right away, and it took me pretty much, everywhere around the world. I was fortunate enough to play in the Western Hockey League. I won a Memorial Cup with the Giants in 2007. I was a captain of the Saskatoon Blades, and I was drafted by the Bruins in 2005. So, like, I had a successful career junior wise, and then when I got into pro, it was kind of tough finding my niche. And I was a smaller guy. At the time, there's still a lot of, everybody was in love with the big 6'4" power forward. And if you've ever met me, I'm kind of opposite of that. I'm very
me too, bud.
I have a big heart, but I made the best of it. I had some good years in the American Hockey League, and then I got to travel and, really experience different cultures when I got to go play in Europe. And I've played in a lot of really cool places. And that led me to, coming back to when I was going to come back to North America, I wanted to come back, planning my next step after hockey. And, I always wanted to stay in the game. So I was very fortunate enough to go down to Jacksonville, Florida within the East Coast Hockey League. The head coach there, his name was Jason Christie. And before I signed, I talked to him about wanting to coach, and, he let me be hands-on. I was in on meetings. I got to be a part of our power play and our penalty kill, and, just kind of setting up how practice plans and like, really the real details as a coach. And everybody sees the 60-minute performance on the ice, but practice plans and trades and the 60-minute practice, but there's still so much more behind that, and making sure everybody's prepared. And you got 20 to 25 guys in your roster, and in the East Coast you're always changing. Guys are going up, guys are going down, there's injuries, so there's a lot of turnover. And just seeing that side of the game, and it only made me a little more passionate, because that's something I like to do. As if it's not a GM role, or at least a coaching role, is just setting up teams and finding where players fit. And that's where I ended up with. When I retired, I got to come to the Valley here with the Bulldogs, and it was such an easy transition, because you got to talk to some of our players, and man, they From the first practice, I was just so impressed. Although they're 16 to 20-year-olds, man, they move like men. They're built, they're fast, they practice. Their practice habits are on point, and they're sponges. So anything you tell them, they're going to do. And I just tried to use my expertise in my playing career and some of the stuff that I've learned, and just kind of applying to them. And they did such a good job this year in that setting. That's why we finished first, and we're gearing up for a long playoff run.
Yeah, we hope we hope you have the big playoff run. Did you play any other sports growing up other than just hockey, or was there something else you excelled at?
Well, honestly, like summertime was my time to kind of do whatever I wanted. I love basketball. So I played basketball in junior high. I loved, rodeo was a big passion of mine. And then I was a big cross country runner. Like, I don't know why. I think it's just the competitive, like at one, there was a competition at school and it was basically just that, like, there was no like planning. It's like, okay, we're going to run 2 miles. Whoever's the fastest in the school will represent our school. And I just ran as fast as I could for as long as I could. And I won. And then
could be the flat lands out in the right?
So grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, I was the Calgary Catholic school cross country champion.
Sweet.
I was I always was like huge into athletics, like not just hockey. I love playing baseball too and basketball, like I said. I think basketball helped me out a lot, just kind of like having to do something with your head up constantly. I mean, obviously you're dribbling the ball, but I was the guard. So, just analyzing plays and then, just running through that and just having the communication and just like the fundamental stuff. And it helped me with my hockey because I was able to read plays. A lot of it was just, the coordination of doing something at a fast pace where your head has to be up and your eyes have to be up. So that helped me with my hockey.
And obviously me and Ryan are huge fans of you because we're huge Giants fans. So we used to always go to those games and obviously watch you excel there.
We still go every week.
Oh, yeah. Bring us back to that Memorial Cup in 06, 07. I mean, with the likes of like Lucic and Kane and Boma and Franson. I mean, you guys were stacked.
Yeah, when I came to the team, I started in the American Hockey League and I was going to come back to junior and my rights were still with the Blades. So I was a deadline acquisition. When I walked into the room, I think about 4 or 5 of the guys were still at World Juniors. So like that was like to play for Team Canada's national team, that you got to be good players. And we had like 4 or 5 guys that were representing their country. And then there's a couple other guys for their European. So you knew there was some top players and a lot of high draft picks. And Don Hay did a great job. I mean, my first meeting with him was, he just kind of asked, what were your plans to, like, what do you want out of this? And I said, I just want to win. I did everything in the Western Hockey League, but other than win. So that's why I'm here. And, it's from then on, it was on. You just try and fit in, play your best. And, we were such a competitive team, not only on the ice, like during games, but like our practices were, man, the boys went after each other, but you had to prove earn your stripes in practice. And then in the games, you knew that we had our backs, each other, like it was against the world. And I think a lot of teams were intimidated us. Like you mentioned some names, but like we played hard from top to bottom. Our goalies were great. Our D-men were good. And our forwards all day, they were skilled, but they played with some jam. So I think that's why we had success. And Don made sure we were prepared every single game. But, the most I got it was like the way they practiced. And I took that into my career, into my pro career, like you come to practice every day and get the most out of it.
And we're here to talk about you. So this will be the only question, not about you, but do you remember the shift? The Lucic shift where he hammered everybody.
I probably could have. I went down on a partial 2-on-1. I tried to pass. I wish I would have shot because the goalie was already cheating. And if I would have scored, that shift never would have happened. And then it went on for another 30, 40 seconds. But before he fights Benfield, if you go back and watch again, I tried to make a play on my knees and I just get buried. Like I get hit hard and I'm on my ass. And then I get up and I see Luch is fighting Benfield and the crowd erupts. So like just to be a part of that, I'm on the ice, so I don't get to see everything. Then you look back and you're like, man, like he went through 4 or 5 guys like hard. And then we had a scoring chance. And you just like after that fight, you can't even hear yourself think because just the crowd is so loud. And I remember the Coliseum there, just I think from puck drop, it was just so intense and it was just electric. And the last 5 seconds of the game when you knew you were going to win, it was surreal. And I think I just blacked out. Sometimes I look back on YouTube and just kind of go over it and like to watch it just because I still get chills up my spine. It was such a cool event. But that shift, I mean, I don't think anybody will ever replicate that. That was kind of like the Lucic, like
coming out party
there. Like everybody, he stamped his name and all right, well, I'm here, let's go. And I don't think he's ever looked back, and he's had such a successful career, and I'm just very proud of his accomplishments.
Yeah, he's a beauty. We had him on the show too, and he's a great dude, hilarious guy, and man, is that guy tough.
He's hands probably the toughest guy in the NHL for the longest time. But if you you got to talk to him, he's just a big kid though. Like he's
very friendly, lighthearted guy.
And just wants to have conversations with people and wants to know how you're doing, and like he's genuine about it, and he cares for his teammates, he cares for his friends, and anybody that wants to talk to him, he'll make sure he has time for him. And that's Lucic and why he's so special. You know, he wants to make everybody like, even if it's for a brief second, he wants to make sure that, you know, you guys are important because you guys wanted to come talk to him. So that's a pro right there.
Exactly what he did for us. Gave us the time of day. Just some two guys from Coquitlam.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. And who did you kind of like try and mirror your game after? Who did you try and play like growing up?
Well, like I had like a lot of players. You know, I grew up in the '90s, so I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Pavel Bure. Like that was like the Rocket was unbelievable. I mean, obviously nobody has his speed or can score like him, but you know, everybody wore number 10, and then he went to 96. So I went to 96, and you tape your stick like him. But you know, I tried to, once I kind of got a little bit older, I tried to mirror my game into more of the undersized two-way centerman, like Joe Sakic. You look at him; he's like Hall of Famer. A legend, Stevie Yzerman, and then like Michael Pekka, guys like that. So that's what I kind of they tried to, because, you know, I had the offensive flair, but, you know, I took pride in the 200-foot game. You know, I talked to, like, when I first started coaching, I talked to the players that you spoke to, and I said, you know, my philosophy is there's two nets, both are equally as important. You take care of that, and you'll have a good chance. And so I learned that at a young age, and I took that, you know, to heart, and I watched those guys that played like that, and the guys I mentioned in the NHL played like that as well.
Absolutely. And bring us back to draft day. Obviously, when you were drafted in 05 to Boston, where were you? What were you doing? Were you surprised?
So it was kind of a weird year. It was just the lockout. So I think 2005 or 2004, 2005, there was a lockout. So everything got pushed back. They had the draft in Ottawa, but it was in like a hotel conference center. So I think only the top guys that were for sure going to draft in the first round were invited. So I was at my parents' place, and honestly, like, we didn't know if I was going to go in the second round or like wasn't going to get drafted at all. Like, it was so up in the air. And I just remember refreshing like on the computer, and my cousin, like, I couldn't look at it anymore. My mom and my dad were like all getting like anxious, and my younger cousin like was kept clicking and clicking and clicking, and got to the fifth round. And I kind of was like, well, maybe I'm not going to get drafted. I kind of wrapped my head around that, prepared it, but you always expect the best and then prepare for the worst. And I was just sitting there on the couch, and then he comes out, and he was just like, wasn't staying. He's all stunned. He's like, you went to the Bruins. And that's so badass. Original six, like everybody had Bruins, and like Bobby Orr, you know, Esposito's, Ray Bourque, like Cam Healy. So just to be a part of to be drafted by a franchise like that is such an honor. And it was cool because I honestly had no idea where I was going to go. Like it was honestly just such an honor, and it was more for my parents because like all the sacrifice that they made for me, and I got to like share that with them. And you know, we didn't come from a lot, you know, leaving the reserve at a young age, and I didn't realize how much my parents sacrificed for me just so that I could, you know, be a kid to play hockey and chase my dreams. They went without a lot for me so that I could, you know, buy new skates or Ford registration or go on road trips. So it was kind of just, we sat back and I just kind of said thank you to them. And from then on, you know, it was nice to embrace, to be drafted, but I knew there was a lot of work ahead to, you know, to be a pro.
And do you have kids now? Do you see it being the parent?
No, I just got married in September. I got married September 12th, and 2 days later we were here in the Valley.
Okay.
So like it was like I tell my wife we have to go on a honeymoon, and I don't want the Vancouver Island.
Yeah,
hockey rink honeymoon. So yeah. I owe her a honeymoon. But when I have kids, and we plan on having kids, like that, if they want to play hockey or want to pursue something, then we'll obviously be fully supportive. But you know, it's I could take it or leave it. You know, hockey parents they're obviously they're different. They're different breed. They're very passionate. Like my parents are awesome, but I know like my dad can't sit next to my mom during hockey games. So like you always see the dads in the corner because they can't sit next to the moms because they're even more revved up than the dads or more revved up than the coaches. So I'm sure my wife will be she's we call her the Queen Wag. She's a Queen wife and girlfriend. When she was she said I retired in her prime. So,
okay. There you go.
But now she's a coach's wife. I said you've elevated. So
yeah.
When we have kids, we'll make sure that they're obviously going to be, whether it's dance or whatever, scholars, like with
whatever the kids like.
We'll support. Always, as long as they get off their tablets or phones for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever the kids like, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what kids like anymore. So
no, exactly. I'm 39 with no kids, so I'm the same way.
There you go. So,
and bring us back to your first professional goal in the AHL, if you remember it. And do you still have the puck?
I do. My mom and my dad keep all my paraphernalia, and
okay.
I want to say it was against Bridgeport Sound Tigers, but I could lie to you and say it was like an end-to-end backhand toe drag, like back bar, but I think it was just like a dusty, like someone shot it and I kind of spun off my guy, and it was like a breakup play, and then the guy tried to like go, and I tipped it down and just shot it, and it went in. And
perfect.
There was no I think it was like a 4-2 goal to kind of go up, or it was a meaningless goal, but it felt nice to score. I didn't score very much my first year, so to get one felt really good. And then my second and third year, I started kind of finding my niche in pro. But the first goal is always nice, and I always remember. And my parents got the puck.
And on that note, did you ever collect anything, or do you have any special memorabilia that you remember?
I always try to collect my jerseys.
Yeah.
And I always make sure whatever team I play on, if there's like a program or something, I'll get all the guys to sign it. I know this is my first year coaching, so I'll make sure that all the guys sign something for me. It's always cool. It was my first coaching, and like our team's so good, and just something to remember them by. So if any of them go on to play in the NHL, I'll show them the signature. So if they make sure they get me tickets, I always tell the guys, I'm teaching you guys well. So if you guys make the show, make sure you get me tickets for wherever city.
That's awesome. And what's one thing that you do tell the kids kind of like to pursue their dream and like not just give up and keep going? Like what's something you do to tell them?
Well, from what my biggest thing was, I had to get outside my comfort zone, and that was leaving my reserve. It was really hard on not only myself and my family, my parents, but being away from home when I was 15 in Saskatoon, that was the hardest part. Was, you find yourself in those discomfort, like when you in life that, the life changing. Okay, well, you're either going this or that way. So you got to trust the process of okay, if you want to be a hockey player, this is what it takes. And there's going to be some sacrifice in it, but it's going to be worth it. And as long as you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself and you're working hard, that's really all you can. It's really all you can ask for, because everything else is out of your hands. So, you talk about setting goals, but at the same time, along the way, you make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're enjoying the process. Because if you're not enjoying hockey, or you're not enjoying education, or whatever you're in, it's just going to be a long haul. So make sure you're enjoying what you're doing.
You have a favorite stadium you ever played in?
Ooh, well, for me, my very first Western Hockey League game was in the Saddle Dome against the Hitmen. Yeah. And, I'm a big Flames fan. So just to kind of play in that arena was really nice. We played when I was in Japan, we played in Nagano, where they had the
Olympics.
The Olympics there. So that was really cool. I played in Russia. That was really cool. Like it was like I played in some really cool places. So every little place, like Czech Republic, I remember playing in the O2 Arena in Prague, and that is like bigger and probably a lot nicer than most NHL rinks, and it was packed. I don't know if you guys watch like the World Cup, like the soccer hooligans, like it's but it's in a hockey stadium. So you have your own fans that come from, and they're locked in this own little section where the other fans can't get to them. But it's loud, and there's the drums, and it's not like you're in North America, if your team's down by 2 with 5 minutes left, you're hitting the parking lot trying to not in Europe, man. It's crazy. And it's I remember we ended up winning one game. We got police escorted out because the home team was throwing flares at us and throwing stuff, and it was pretty cool. It was fun. And some of the places I played, are more soccer dominant, especially in Europe. But Czech Republic hockey's number one, and I got to play against Yager and Kladno in their cool little arena. So like, I'd say the Saddle Dome was number one, and then just all the European barns were really cool.
Sweet. And obviously, I know you didn't play in the dub with Gilbert Brulé, but did you play in Europe with him at all?
No, I played against Gilbert when he was with the Giants.
Okay.
So he was in Saskatoon, and everybody knew about Gilbert even since he was like 14 or like 13. Like Western Canada, everybody knew how good he was, and man, that guy's a rattlesnake on the ice.
He's a beauty.
He's nails, and I got to know him a bit, and just crossing paths with him and playing against him in the American Hockey League. I thought he would have had a longer NHL career, which I think if we both would have came in at a different era, that we were both kind of undersized guys, skilled guys that played with a little bit of jam, but his skill level was just like.
Columbus also fucked him. They brought him in way too early. They went like right away. I'm pretty sure he went right away to the show almost, right?
Yeah, I think he did end up getting hurt, but everybody develops at a different pace.
Yeah.
So, that's a guy that I wish would have like had a little bit healthier, because he would have had a hell of an NHL career. And I'm just, as long as he's happy with his life, that's all that matters.
He's a friend of the show for sure. Mike knows him.
There you go.
I see him like almost every month now because I stay up at his Airbnb, so I see him all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely a good dude, man.
He's an awesome dude, and he's a guy that you can just sit and hang and chat with, and he won't even want to talk about hockey. He'll just talk about whatever. Oh yeah, that's a cool
exactly.
And what are some good qualities that you think a coach must have?
I think communication is number one. My mom's a principal, so she deals with a lot of kids, and teaching the teaching aspect. She said just be as honest and as simple as possible, because if the more you complicate things, I just kind of think of myself as what kind of coaches I like, just direct and someone that you can actually have a conversation with. I want to make sure like the guys that you just interviewed, they know that I care about them, not just about their hockey. Like I want to make sure that they're good away from the rink, because there's so much more to hockey than just being at the rink. Especially for these young men, they're away from home. They're in a different town, maybe they have a girlfriend outside of the city or whatever is going on in their lives. You want to make sure that they care and that they're okay. And, for me, I just want to make sure that they know, well, I want to get them to that level that they want to be at, but I want to make sure that the human side of them is still taken care of away from the rink.
Definitely. How was the game last night, by the way?
It was actually really cool. I didn't expect to, so we sat in Aquilini's seat, or like his press box.
Yeah.
But the Canucks did such a great job, honoring the First Nations, the communities around Vancouver. My wife she's a big advocate, and she's pretty big in the First Nations community. And it was cool that they invited us, and I ended up going on the Jumbotron, and I did a video for them, and it was actually really cool. And just to be back in Vancouver, it was nice to be on the hockey side, and I got to see a lot of familiar faces. And I hate to say it, it was a great night. I'm not a Canucks fan, but
whoa.
One of my good friends, and he's a mentor of mine, is Jim Montgomery. So he was on the bench for the Blues. So I was cheering for him, and I got to see him after the game. So it was nice it was a great night overall. Like me and my wife were sitting there. It was just cool. We didn't really get to watch the game because we were going from suite to suite, meeting all the dignitaries and the chiefs in the area. So it was cool to just socialize. And just for the last 2 years of how the world was, it was just nice to be around people and not have to worry about anything, and just
exactly
just talking and seeing people, and you watch all the kids and they're smiling, they're enjoying the game with their parents, and
it makes you happy.
The people next to us are enjoying their adult beverages. Just enjoy life. It's just nice to see smiles on people's faces.
See, I'm a Canucks season ticket holder, so I go to a lot of games. I sell a lot as well, but just going to games to see people again after the pandemic was amazing. Even my bar across town here, they just seeing people dancing. As soon as they let dancing back in the bar, I was so happy, and just seeing people enjoying life again means a lot after the last 2 years we've had. Shit.
Yeah, well, like, so I was down in Florida last year where, it was pretty much the Wild West. Like,
there's no rules in Florida.
I honestly remember our season started a little bit later and we got down so this was still like in Canada full scale lockdown. And I was driving down, like the more further south we went, the less the rules were. And I remember being in St. Louis for a night and I was still pretty paranoid of other people at the time. Cause I didn't know what was going on. I never had COVID yet. So I saw there was concerts, people weren't wearing masks, there was no social distance, and I was just like, oh, why? I was just like, ah. But then we got down to Florida, it was nice, and so we've kind of been exposed to just the normalcy, and then it's nice again just to be around it again. Like I said last night, just some human interaction and just people enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad Gino couldn't have made it last night. I know he's sick. I heard he was sick or something, but he was supposed to be there. But at least he made a video. But yeah, it would have been cool to have him there as well.
Yeah, it was like Gino was one of my heroes growing up. I went to his hockey school. I had a 29 Ojic jersey for the Canucks.
Yeah.
Like when I was a Canucks fan, I was like, that's Burry and Gino. So
of course.
I've got to know him a little bit, and it was unfortunate he wasn't there. I got to actually spend some time after the game with Brady Keeper. I don't know if you know his story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be a hell of a hockey player, and he's just kind of came out of nowhere, man. That kid's story is like the definition of just,
that's one guy we've been trying to get on too.
He's a pretty quiet guy.
Yeah, because his story's so good.
Yeah,
and Gino, we had Gino on. We've had Gino on before. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a beauty, man. He's awesome. So, but
yes.
I got to spend time with Keeps, and he did a nice video too for First Nation.
I can't wait for him to suit up for the Canucks. I'm hoping that leg's getting better. I heard he's skating now with the boys, so it should be not much longer.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll make it back this year, but I was talking to him and his wife, and they said that his recovery is ahead of schedule.
Good.
So that's really good, and that's important. He's young, and I'm sure hopefully he'll get back out there and help you guys get into playoffs here, or if not this year, definitely.
It's not happening this year. I've already tossed in the flag, and it wasn't until last night. I believed until last night's loss. And now it's done.
You guys have honestly, if Petey starts coming around again, but man, Demko is unbelievable.
I'm personally trade them all except for Quinn Hughes and Demko, only because the 2023 draft is so stacked full of talent that if you can trade everybody for draft picks, maybe you can throw enough draft picks towards whoever has first pick, and you can take Connor Bedard.
Well, I think the Western League's stacked for that draft, right?
It is.
Yeah. I think I just read somewhere there's been 5 or 6 kids that have already passed the 50-point mark.
Yeah.
I had a really good 16-year-old year. I only had 45 points, but 50 for a 60, man. That's
I know.
Those kids, there's some studs going, but the younger kids are just getting better and better every year. It's crazy. I'm like, holy crap.
That's the Bedard, Mitchkov, Dvorsky, Benson.
Yeah. There's a kid in Kelowna that's pretty good too. I forget his name. Crystal, I think.
Andrew Crystal. We had him on the show.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah.
What about? Did you guys play Victoria this year? Because another guy in that same draft who's projected top 10 is playing for the Grizzlies. That Matthew Wood.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard about him. He only scores every time we play him.
Does he? Okay, I wasn't trying to chirp.
I think every time we end up being on some type of highlight. I remember he toe dragged 2 of our D-men and then put it between the legs or something.
He looks.
I just remember that kid's so big. I thought he was a 20-year-old. I didn't he has a point. He has a goal a game in the BCHL as a 16-year-old. That's wild.
Yeah,
he's a really good player.
Another guest, actually, Mike Ree had him on, right?
Yeah.
There we
Ryan, hit him with the dinner question, Ryan.
I thought so. I was waiting in case I had already. If you were having a dream dinner party and you could invite 3 famous people, dead or alive, who would you want to bring? For example, I bring Tupac, Seth Rogen, because it'd be fun to sit down with him. And for eye candy, I'd like Paulina Gretzky, maybe.
Yeah, Paulina.
You're married. Don't answer that.
I would have to say George Strait. He's my favorite artist.
Yeah. Nice.
George Strait. Nas. He's my favorite. He's my second. Yeah. That guy's a genius. And I would have to say Probably Kevin Costner. Man, that's his like
great movies. Great movies.
Unbelievable movies. Like, and they just hang out and talk, and I'm sure the conversations would be. I mean, I wouldn't even talk. I just listen.
Yeah, just sit there and listen, right?
Here's another one for you. Obviously, you probably had to be rookied over the years, and or did the bus idol, they call it, I guess, in the dub. What song? What song are you singing?
"Friends in Low Places" by Garth Brooks.
There we go.
Nice.
You ever seen that, George?
All your kids that we just had on, they're all picking like Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift.
They did that earlier in the year. We were what the hell are they doing back there? And he's really terrible voices, and they're just I put my ear pods on and then put my head in the pillow. It's like, what are you guys doing?
I had to laugh when Manu said he'd sing a French song because then no one knows if he's good or bad.
Celine, I don't think you can hear the words. It's more the pitch and the voice, the tone. You can tell if a guy is a good singer or not.
The loophole in that the song "Tequila" only has one word. So
tequila.
It's hard to screw that up.
Yeah. There you go.
If you were an animal, what would you be?
Bald eagle or a wolf. Actually, a wolf is my favorite like animal of all time, man. That's if I could see a wolf in the wild, that would be like I could die a happy man, you know. Those are
okay. I might not know the background on this, but is that a spiritual thing to the indigenous?
I don't think so. Like the bald eagle is for sure. Like if you there's a lot of eagles around here. Like the wildlife is crazy around here, so we always see bald eagles. But like in my culture, if you see an eagle, it's like kind of a blessing, or like it's supposed to kind of be good fortune and like a good day. And I know the owl, like if there's an owl around, we hear it hooting, it's like it's not good. Like it brings like bad news or something. So I was just told to shoo it away or tell it to go away. But the bald eagles thing, and then just the wolf, man. Like I love animals. I love dogs, but the wolves are like apps. Like I'll be like lost on YouTube just watching wolf documentaries and just. So if I can see them in their element, I don't know if there's any here in the island, but I know there's a lot of. Cougars.
I don't know if they can swim all the way that across the island there.
That's true, but there's a lot of cougars here apparently, and I'm scared of cougars. Like I have a German Shepherd, so like anytime it's dark, he's out the poop, and he goes like this. I think it's either a bear or a cougar, and I'm just paranoid.
The reason I asked about the wolves is I saw it in Yellowstone. They had a part where the wolf shows up, and he was having nightmares or something.
Oh, yeah. I just finished watching Yellowstone. It was really good.
It was really good, wasn't it? We always ask that question. I was telling your kids that we always ask that question about what your animal would be, because I always choose a dolphin because I look like a dolphin because I got no hair, a forehead, and a nose.
You're smart. Are you smart?
No, but I've got personality.
There you go.
Obviously, you play with a ton of players, but who would you say the best player you played against was in your career?
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. He was actually my favorite player when I was 14 and he was 13. We had the same agency. We played under 18 together with Big Team Canada, and we played against each other at Canada Winter Games. And you're just like, just the way he moves, I'm like, man, that guy's unreal. That guy's my favorite player. I'm gonna follow.
Hey, what about the favorite player you ever played with?
Probably Marchand.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
They say I look like him too.
Marshy. Yeah. He's got a little bit more hair, but you guys probably got the same personality, eh?
No, you were gonna say beak. We both got the same beak.
Never did that.
What's he like? What's he like off the ice? Obviously, we only see the on ice stuff.
He's hilarious, man. He's one of the boys. He's literally the definition of you love to have him on your team, but hate to play against him.
That's like me and Beer League.
There you go. Yeah. So you guys are the exact same. You and Marshy.
Yeah.
So, no, but like he's hilarious. We would play 2-touch, or we'd always like we were all young guys in Providence together. So we'd always do that was the good thing about our team. We were so good, but we did everything together, whether it was going for lunch or going to a movie, if we're going out, or going to if we're on the road, we're all going for supper, and everybody was included. So you get to know each other a lot. And it was cool just to play with them. And then I think half of that team went on to win the Stanley Cup in 2011. Like my roommate was Johnny Boychuk. I've been 2 years in Providence. So,
and you know who that was against, right? The Vancouver Canucks. My team.
I think there was a riot or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't confirm.
Do you have a favorite sports movie before we let you go?
Oh, anything Kevin Costner, man. I love Bull Durham. I love For the Love of the Game. One of the big trivia questions I always tell people is if you ever seen I forget the movie right now. Hold on, Field of Dreams. The ghost says 3 things. You guys know what it is?
No, I don't know that.
Okay, well, if you ever watch, it's obviously if you build it, he will come.
Yes, I know that.
Go the distance and ease his pain. And that's actually a huge trivia question. Okay. So you guys should try and not do that on your next.
Okay, well, we're gonna make sure we might have to incorporate that into our show going forward.
Yeah.
And the major leagues are good. 1 and 2 are good. And
Tin Cup.
Anything Kevin Costner is just
Waterworld, all kinds of good movies.
Dances with Wolves. You ever seen Dances with Wolves?
Dances with Wolves. One of the first ones I remember from a kid.
Yeah, there you go. It was like 7 hours long, but it was unreal.
Yeah, it was.
Exactly. Hey, Wacey, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time for us today and coming on and chat with us. Obviously, we're big fans of you, and I wish your team best of luck. I hope you guys end up playing on the mainland here so we can come watch you guys play and meet you.
For sure. Well, thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for having our boys on. I think they're pretty pumped today, so it's good that they get some recognition. And if you guys if we play Poco or if we play Lakeland, make sure you guys are so make sure you guys come through and we'll say hello.
And what you were saying there, we love just doing it where we know that the kids are pumped for the day. And
100%.
That's why we do this stuff, to make sure that
I just told them, I'm like, it's day before playoffs. Don't give any teams any bulletin board where you say something where they're just going to post the next day. So have fun. No, but I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for having us on.